Every multicellular organism begins as a single cell. As that cell divides repeatedly, it produces a vast population of cells that gradually form the skin, muscles, bones, and nerves that make up a functioning body. These cells organize into a hierarchy. Similar cells form a tissue. Tissues combine into organs, and organs work within systems. Specifically, a tissue is a group of structurally similar cells working together to perform a specific function. This organization leads to a division of labor. By specializing, different groups of cells increase the body's efficiency, allowing it to carry out complex life processes simultaneously. The structure of these tissues depends on the organism's lifestyle. Most plants are fixed in one place and require upright support, while most animals must move actively to find food or shelter. To stay firm, plant cells have rigid walls. Animal cells lack these, providing flexibility for locomotion. Think about this difference. Animals need flexible tissues to move, while a plant's survival depends on maintaining a rigid, upright position. While animals grow uniformly, plants grow in localized zones of dividing cells called meristematic tissue. Apical meristems at the tips increase length, lateral meristems increase girth, and intercalary meristems allow for regrowth. We can see this in action with onion roots. Root A grows steadily over time, but if you snip the tip of root B, growth stops instantly. This proves that growth is driven specifically by the dividing cells at the very tip. As the plant adds new cells, some lose the ability to divide. They undergo differentiation, changing their structure and function to become permanent tissues specialized for support, transport, or storage. If a grazing animal eats the top of a blade of grass, which tissue allows it to grow back? Because the intercalary meristems are at the base, the plant can regenerate even after the top is removed. Once differentiated, permanent plant tissues are categorized by their role. They either protect the plant, support its weight, or conduct resources. Supporting tissues vary by cell wall thickness. Parenchyma has thin walls for food storage, collenchyma has thickened corners for flexibility, and sclerenchyma has thick, lignin-filled walls that provide the hard, dead support found in coconut husks. For transport, plants use complex tissues. Xylem acts as a series of hollow, dead tubes that move water and minerals upward from the roots. Phloem consists of living cells with perforated walls, moving food from the leaves to every other part of the plant. Consider what happens if an elephant debaks a tree. Because the food-transporting phloem is located just beneath the bark, removing that layer effectively starves the rest of the tree by cutting off its nutrient supply. Animal tissues are also specialized, but they are adapted for active response and movement. There are 4 primary types: epithelial, connective, muscular, and nervous. Epithelial tissue forms the body's outer skin and lines internal organs like the lungs and blood vessels. Its closely packed cells act as a barrier against germs and mechanical injury. Connective tissues support and link the body together. Their properties depend on their matrix. In blood, the matrix is fluid. In bone, it is a hard, rigid grade of calcium, and in cartilage, it is a flexible, jelly-like substance. Specific connectors like tendons attach muscles to bones to create pull, while ligaments connect bone to keep joints stable and prevent dislocation. Muscular tissue consists of fibers that contract to produce movement, while nervous tissue is made of neurons specialized to receive and transmit messages throughout the body. Based on these structures, which connective tissue uses a fluid matrix to move materials? Blood is the only tissue with a liquid matrix, enabling it to transport gases and nutrients from head to toe. Movement requires all 4 animal tissues working in unison. A signal travels down a neuron's axon, reaching a muscle fiber, causing contraction. This pulls a tendon attached to the skeleton, rotating a joint stabilized by ligaments. Meanwhile, epithelial tissue provides a protective, moving outer layer. Even a simple step or blink is impossible without this instantaneous teamwork between specialized cells. While differentiation usually turns meristem cells into permanent tissues, can that process be reversed? In carrot tissue experiments, researchers found that mature phloem cells can de-differentiate back into unspecialized cells. When given the right nutrients, these cells can then re-differentiate to grow an entirely new plant. This ability of a single mature cell to divide and differentiate into a whole organism is known as totipotency. From the actively dividing meristems in plants to the specialized matrix of animal connective tissues, Every tissue we've covered has a structure that matches its function. By observing these mechanics, we can see the logic behind how multicellular life maintains itself. Understanding these tissues is the first step to understanding how organisms grow,